We go bombs now. And then I'm actually going right into the alligator. I'm gonna get a big sword stance up. Once they block it with the mega, very nice.
Oh, there we go. Alright, we got some new like colors and shit to our hair now, I guess. Let's see if they have any new hairstyles. I don't think so though.
Yeah, no, they got us.
Yeah, alright.
They popped us with that flare.
Hair color design. That's in pink.
Get a liquidation off.
Red. This is a regular red. Finally. Blue, purple, orange, aqua, white, lemon yellow.
Okay, well if you want to crit, that's fine. We've had a good run. Yeah, there's no coming back from this. Wasn't even paying attention to who I sent out. Yep. GG's. Heracross got us. Got away from us too quickly, too fast. Alright. Game 3. They have been able to get us every single game. Screens plus Heracross is just good. Let me think of how. Is there a different way we can play this?
White.
If I go hard, I'm obviously going right here and just throw off the blizzard.
It's like one or the other.
Fine. What if I freeze you? Play it growth off.
Yeah,
If we can get this blizzard off before the Zard hits us, we can. Okay. We're gonna go for alligator. Still haven't tacos yet. Big liquidation into the Meganium. It's like an outrage into the Meganium.
No, that's good. That's good.
Again, we go snow. Into for alligator. We get our sword dance off, they get their sword dance off. Obviously they have screams. Obviously they have mega evolution, and it just runs right through the alligator. Cool. So then they're just gonna camp here and do us like that.
Like that?
Yep.
That's it for now.
Get out of here. Yeah, this thing's just too
I like the red eyes.
Guess that is a strategy.
Yeah.
It's 1v1 just to camp the spot.
Yeah.
We're gonna get these boosts done.
Huh?
I didn't mean to go down. I meant to go jolt down. It's Dragon Rush.
Like it, new layout.
Big Starbucks, yeah.
Really going crazy now, man. I don't know.
They just have too much good defensive synergy here. Still does a lot.
My dog is indeed a big dog. Man.
Yeah.
You see him? I mean, hard.
Okay. Apparently that switch didn't work the way we wanted. It's fine. At least they got the Zard. GG's. Alright, so we were able to finish third in this tournament. Took some big L's, got some wins. Again, eventually we're going to get these Mons EV trained properly and actually
Yeah, I'm not gonna
correct team for all Pokemon.
There's something
We'll
I
get
want.
there. Until then,
Let me
subscribe,
get afforded.
like, comment. What mons do you want to see next? As always, have a great one. Peace.
A little bit of cyber real quick. I named these vivid purple, emerald green, and taffy pink. Like, that's not even matching. You gotta get it though.
Okay guys, today we're going to be using Mega Electros in ranked battles, and Electros is one of my favourite Pokemon ever. Ever since Cynthia had it in Pokemon Black and White, I literally fell in love with it. I love when it stood up specifically. I don't like when it stood around. I prefer it stood up like he is right now. I love it go. So we're going to Mega Evolve it and see Mega Electros first. I love the Mega. I actually think they made it look so much cooler than it already did. I love the fact it's like almost like a jumbo jet with the two sort of floating engines next to it. It genuinely looks amazing. So today we're going to be using Mega Electros. And the moves I'm using are the EV sprint stuff. I'm just going to waterproof some water coverage, double
Ooh, the sound waves match look like kind of
It's
match.
very hard hitting.
Nah, I
Also
like the
very
red
slow
though.
power up, and my charge also really cool to us too. But Mega Electros has 145 base physical attack, which makes it much more of a physical attacker compared to 135, which is still very effective special attack.
Oh yeah, we need the light in here.
Can it just be how long it takes to
Go.
Thunder Punch, Thunder Bang, and then
Chicken
once
and
more
go,
back charge
let's
coverage,
go.
although we don't see a lot of bombs, like I actually might change it to something that makes Gardevoir a little bit better. I also need to change my nature too, but maybe just something that makes Gardevoir, but I think the electric type is really more than enough. We use our extra drill for that, and my shiny Alpha Salamence, who's all trained up now with an adamant nature, max HP, max attack, and we're going to see Outrage, Thunderfang, Flight, and Earthquake on the Salamence. So that's my team going into rank. Let's see how it can perform. I love Mega Electros. Let's hope it's good enough for rank. But yeah, 3 Megas again, as always, I think it's just the best way. Honestly, I think 3 Megas is so strong. You can obviously run things like Assault Vest, Life Orb, etc., but I think the power level of these Megas is just so high. It always be similar to run, and I think Electros is going to be really impressive with how many things like Gyarados and Greninja there, for example, or Feraligatr. We're going to be under enough seeing. I think having a really strong electric type attack like Electros is going to be really handy. Let's see, we obviously learned extra drill, as we always do. It's always the first one in the party for us. Let's see, we're going to see a Gyarados, but why? That's going to be interesting. Let's do it the nice one. That's not on the way. Okay, I can have that from here. Hold on. Okay, never mind. Into Gyarados.
Nah, we probably about to be done this thing. I don't know. I don't got that much patience for this shit right now.
I can also come over there. Poison jab.
That shit is hard, bro.
Let's oh, it's got flow. Interesting. Okay. So we have to see Gyarados come in and apply sheets instead of screens. I'm gonna find a bunch here. Nice. Wow, that actually just OHKO'd. I was not expecting that at all. Let me go drill here because we can see a blind sheet and a flowette. So yeah, the eternal flowette is surface area. Let's go drill run and see if we can get over there. They might try and make us to Gyarados or something. And there we go. But I've got the answer for that one then. I've got the answer. And just OHKO. I mean, Electros is ridiculous. We do get Hero by the game here, but that's absolutely fine. That's a trade I'm willing to take, honestly. I'm going to go Salamence here because the game is a little bit scary. I'm likely to get a big fly off. The Raichu's a little bit scary. I'm going to see a Flowette as well.
Trench coat, kind of cold.
I'll pick Outrage. That's a bad play. Fly, go, go. We got Giga Drain. Okay, I should have switched when I said this. Attack. That's okay. Let me go Electros. Like, you have to Mega ready. We're going to get you. It's the game.
They done used all my bread already on all this shit. I need to be saving the bread for something.
Did a waterfall go? Oh wait, healed. Okay. Let me get a Mega boost off. I'm gonna grab the defense boost as well, because that's always handy, especially when I've just had a Garden coming behind us. We missed the Earthquake, thank God. We're gonna wild charge this. We might KO ourselves. Nice. Oh my God, we got 2. No, we got two. The Garchomp did take us out in the end, or maybe it's the recoil. But we picked up the Mobile and the Floette there, so that's really good. We're going to go to Salamence here. He does have Thunderfang to do with Gyarados. And let me get it off.
Yeah, I think that is it though.
That is Mega Mega. That's a scary one. That's a very scary one. Let's see, what's it today? Heavy Slam? Oh my god, that's so good.
Yeah.
It's probably going to
Alright.
have to
I spoke with how we looking.
That Mega Mega is very scary. I'm going to see a Raichu set up screens. I'm going to Thunder Punch you. And then a Wild Charge. Go, go, go. Nice. I love the animation on Wild Charge there. It's so good. And I'm going to Mega on the Earthquake to get the invincibility frames. That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. And we're going to Thunder Punch here for some big damage. Oh my god, that did so much. Wild Charge KO. Switch. That's fine. Waterfall. No, wait, we got KO'd by the Chomp, I think. That Chomp is sneaking the KOs. Look at that, he's just went up to 7 in the blink of an eye. But Electros has picked up some crazy KOs for us. I love it. We're going to go with the Salamence. I think the Garchomp's too far gone, but a comfortable second place is what we got there. We just got picked at the post by that Garchomp, who was doing the same thing in the game. So maybe it's on me for not really preparing for that, but I'll take the second place all day. 5 KOs is certainly respectable. We're going to 2 and a 1. It was the Raichu setting up the screens I'm noticing. Raichu setting up screens and then hard switching out into Gyarados or Garchomp felt really strong for them there. But we did get 100 points, which is really good. We're going to push us into rank 8. And yeah, we're getting really close to rank 8 now, which is obviously really good. A rare candidate against Pikachu, that is not really too helpful at this stage of the game. But yeah, Electros, I'm really impressed. Again, as I said, the amount of water types in Gyarados, which we can want into Electric, after Alligator Greninja 2, Electros just feels like a no-brainer. It really does. So I think we can try and play a bit more conservative, scout for people's switches first, and then try and pick them off with Electros when they maybe don't have any switches left, and they're stuck with that Gyarados, so they're stuck with that Alligator. So let's see. Whole picture of down it, looks like I sat on the throne. I like it. I love this map. I always say it, but this is probably my favourite map in this mode. Just I like the location of the boosts and stuff. So we're going to see Excadrill for myself, and then I bring some Tutor, a Emboar. Wait, there's only 3 of us. Blastoise comes in? Yeah, we've got an answer for that though. So
I really didn't say no.
this is good.
Alright, let me change the.
In mid-animation, I'll pick out as soon as we up. But the punch does it, one charge. One charge did it okay, I'm not sure what it's like. We're going to go Salamence on his dig. We have to, unfortunately, while he's not going to that. We do have Earthquake. Okay, we took the out there. Can I Outrage? He just Earthquake. Perfect. Okay, let's go back to Electros here. We've got the Tutor. I'm going to go grab the defense boost too. Come on, Electros, get over here. Oh no, I didn't get it. I let the Emboar get over the idiot. And Emboar is now Mega. Tyranitar, that's all you, baby. That's all you, Tyranitar. Tyranitar, that's all you.
I didn't notice it was the dog.
Obviously, after that, which is really nice. I'm going to walk through it now. No, we didn't get it. Another back. No, you dodged. Okay, let's Wild Charge the Blastoise. Wait, they didn't KO? Nice. Wait, did I get both there or just one? I think I just got the one. That's okay.
This is
There's a heal over there, so I don't know if grab that.
This is hard.
I need to be careful because people are going to be spawning in. So we're going to see Emboar and Tutor again, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to try and bait the Tutor into a big, yeah, and then Mega Evolve when it comes up. Now? Yep. Got it, perfect, yep.
I do think I kind of like the other trick more though. Yeah, I do.
Thunder Punch my KO? No, it didn't.
Let's see it.
That Tyranitar's putting in work, man. Excadrill is definitely the answer there, though. I have to stop being Electros biased, which was always going to happen using my favourite one. I just go Excadrill, it looks incredible right now. Let's get over there and fire a big earthquake if we can get there in time.
Yeah, let's go with this.
Yes, we can. Data came in. That's
I
fine.
rock with this smoke. I can rock with this smoke. No cap. Alright. Let's get on with this little side quest. Hello there, have you ever wanted your Pokemon to heal themselves even while they attack opponents in Pokemon battle? Some moves actually absorb HP from your experience for yourself. Yeah, that's right. You know what, you change the fact that you finna catch this build.
I had to swap. I had to go next there. There's an ice beam coming my way. I sense it. Yeah, there's an ice beam coming my way. Man, I mean, it's fine. We're still second. I don't think they even have time to come first there. Is the fact there's only 3 trainers here made it kind of hard to really do anything. There was a lot less like distractions and stuff.
Ready.
Wild charges. Go. Electros, go. Nintendo, go. Oh, man. It's a better last one, so it's incredibly bold.
Good friend, but good to say the Madel.
We wouldn't have even got the win off that anyway. So, yeah, the 4th place.
The Madel.
But we do come second, which is fine. Only 3 KOs, but again, that's okay. So Electros is like
Waterfall.
second win, Tigers attacking us, I think it's a counter action through. And we're climbing up rank B. So we do have 1 Mega Shard for our troubles, which is not too helpful.
Ice Flame.
Yeah, I'll be honest, not too helpful. We'll see.
I'm about to look up how to get Mega Dragonite too. Pick that up real quick. And I would absorb HP quickly enough to hold out.
Discover education that's attentive to your advancement.
Rogue Mega Dragonite Mission 32. It's not easy to win if your opponents are healing as quick as you do. Then again, that didn't stop you from winning, clearly. And to think I even had all my Pokemon equipped with big roots. Big roots are items that allow you to absorb more HP. Here, let me give you one too. Good looking. It is. Pop my seed. Trust me, son. Once you discover the fun and feeling while attacking, it really sucks you in.
I got
Boss.
my shiny Alpha Talonflame, but I couldn't get there. Because I jumped really fast to the other side.
Sure.
You ready, guys? It's Game on Luke here, and today
You
I'm going
ready?
to show you how to get over 60 to 70 wins in one single night of this game. I find it so funny that these new Pokemon games find a way to rope me back into making tutorial style content. If you guys have been watching the ZA streams or ever looked at my socials like Twitter, you'll know that I've sort of cracked the code on how to get a bunch of wins in a single night of the ZA Royale. I think we're also all aware by this point that you need 1,000 wins to complete Mabel's research and therefore get the shiny clan. Now, by no means necessary do I think that this is the fastest method to get those battles, but it's certainly pretty handy. I think if you're looking for the fastest way to get those 1,000 battles, you're better off going to Restaurant La Mer for the smaller battles there and just spamming those over and over again. My only issue with doing something like that is it seems quite tedious and can be quite boring because you're literally just, you're battling the same 3 trains over and over again. It can get really. Before I go any further, I do want to give a shout out to Pebblefire, my friend Gabe. He is the one that was basically telling me about this method on stream when I was about halfway through my 1,000 battles. And to be honest, just the idea of doing this was way more fun than just monotonously, just doing what I needed to do to get to those battles.
Which
This
one
made it a
got
whole
there?
lot more fun.
Very talking about the battle.
The ZA Royale
Okay.
earns you a bunch of necessary.
Anyway, here's an idea. Let me have a
ways.
battle.
I
Each of
believe
us
in order to
uses our
access
favorite
specific
Pokemon.
post-game content without saying any spoilers, you need to have at least a 15 win streak, I think, on the ZA Royale. So it's helpful for that. Obviously, if you're looking for candy and you're also looking for money, the ZA Royale gives you both of those things because every single time you complete a challenges ticket, you get handed XP candy, and the type of candy
I have a
and the
specific
amount
type.
that you get
I like the
changes depending on
variety.
how long the streak
I'm
is.
fucking with
So
them
with this
out.
method,
Yeah,
you
hey.
get, if you're doing well, between like 60 to 80 wins a night.
Faye, the
And
first
I've
eyed
even
girl,
seen
sent
some
out
people
clip.
really min-max this and get to like 90. 100 might even be possible at this point. But if you're like me and you're hitting it quite hard, but you're also not like
Pop.
giving it 100%, you should be able to get between 60, 70, 80. And you can really go about this 2 different ways too. If you wanted to, you can get the 20 wins for the challenger ticket within like the first, I don't know, it might even be the first quarter of the night, and then use that challenger ticket, fly to Plays Artica, claim your ticket, do your like promotion match or whatever, right? And then fly back to the area and continue to get another 20
Oh, he
you can
survived.
Fly back to places that I
Well, that's a
can
problem.
get the ticket stuff pretty quick. Or if you're just trying to get a high score, don't really care about the tickets, you just want to get as many wins as you possibly can.
Easy peasy.
You can just run this route in this one specific ZA Royale area, and again, get between like 60. But basically, the first thing you want to do is obviously have it be night. I often fly to this Pokemon.
Still don't think your fairy types are amazing. I mean, dragon type moves have absolutely no effect on them, though I'm well aware that fairy moves have their weaknesses too.
Very specific.
And when you specialize in a certain type, your whole team shares the same vulnerabilities. I'll keep that on my team of fairy types. I'm the biggest fan of
But I do have the area unlocked, and it's this one just to the right. I'm already like a third way through my night, so I'm not going to show you the full run, but I'm going to give you the idea and show you exactly what you need to do, what Pokemon you can use, what moves you need, etc., etc. So I'm going to fly up to the battle zone. There's some very, very important information. Before we actually go in, there's some important information you need to know, okay? Time moves, I believe, only during the time you spent outside of battles and outside of menus. So essentially, the entire premise of doing this is to spend the least amount of time outside of battles and the most amount of time within battles. And you do this by fighting one trainer and then immediately lining yourself up to fight the next one. You're basically chaining off of each trainer until the end of the night happens and you've racked up a bunch of them. Now that obviously means you can use basically any Pokemon. You are ultimately worried about the time you spend outside of battle, so if you have a team of weaker Pokemon or Pokemon that aren't fully evolved, fully leveled up, whatever, and you're struggling with some of the battles but you're still getting through, it shouldn't matter too much. Obviously it means you're going to have to spend time healing, but again, when you're in a menu, the day is not counting down. And for those that don't know actually, in the top left corner you can see the little red ring around the map. That is how much time is left in my night. A lot of people didn't know this, but there it is right there, just so you know. One move I think that you absolutely need to have on a Pokemon is what I would call a priority move, but obviously because we're in Legendary, they're not really priority moves, but most priority moves act in a way where if you use Aqua Jet or you use E-Speed or you use Quick Attack, you dash. The Pokemon dashes in the face of the Pokemon and strikes them. Now if you're quite far away from the next trainer, sometimes it's faster to lock onto their Pokemon and just Aqua Jet or E-Speed them because it will initiate the battle much quicker. And then you just give your Pokemon 3 coverage moves. I right now am just running this with Feraligatr. I do believe that Dragonite would be better and might even get better times because Dragonite can fly. Sometimes, most often the time actually, Feraligatr will just fall off the roof. So I do think that maybe Dragonite would be a better option this because it still gets priority and it also gets a bunch of coverage. But that's only really if you're trying to get like a really good score, right? You can do this with a Pokemon that isn't like optimal and still get 60 or 70 wins. I understand that when you're at this point in the game, you may not have all the candies, you may not have like a way to EV train or the money to level up Pokemon, right? So a Pokemon that you've had on your team throughout your playthrough should be just fine. I'm actually just using my in-game Feraligatr right now. It doesn't really matter what you use. I think when I was doing this as well, I think I was level 70. So you don't even have to be level 100 necessarily. Again, what happens in the battles does not really matter. You might need healing items, obviously, if you are taking a lot of damage because you need to keep the Pokemon alive. But again, it doesn't matter that you have to heal them because the time is moved doing that. I also just give my Feraligatr a Shell Bell too because every single time I strike a Pokemon, I just get HP back. I say save time. Saving time in more real life time than in-game time, really. But yeah, so let's get into it. Let me just show you a basic idea of what we're supposed to do. So we're going to head inside this battle zone, and normally there is a trainer that spawns either in front of us here or to the side of us. And you don't really care too much about collecting cards or anything like that. You can if you want, but realistically you want to basically start the fights as fast as you possibly can. And that might be why I'm walking in front of the trainer's view, or it might be targeting the Pokemon and Aqua-Jetting it, or E-Speeding it, or whatever it might be. And just so you know, if you do have E-Speed, it still starts the battle, even if a Ghost-type Pokemon is immune to a normal-type move, you can still start the battle. So what's important here is normally, and I know this route already, I'll run the route in a second, but essentially, to my right, there will be another trainer that spawns in around that area. So I really ideally want to kill this Sableye with a move that's a little slow. Earthquake is a great example for this. I'm going to attack the Sableye, put it low, use Earthquake, and then begin sort of bringing her towards this side, so I know another trainer spawns around here. So the Sableye is honestly a really bad example here, but it's going to recover after this. But if I hit the Earthquake and I start running, so I'm going to wait. You're going to Shadow Ball me. We're bringing her around here. I'm going to Earthquake. and it dies. And now we've already made ourselves around the corner, and a trainer usually spawns around here. And bear in mind, I'm moving during the battle, so no time has passed, right? So I've gotten my first win. Another trainer normally spawns around here, so there's another one here, and obviously I can step into their line of sight, or with my Feraligatr, which is now dead by the way, hold on, so let me just heal him up. So now with my Feraligatr out, I can just Aqua Jet, start making my way this way, and the battle immediately starts, right? Now, unfortunately, Roserade's kind of like a long-range Pokemon, but as you can see, they will run towards you. So you can get the kill and start moving in the direction that you need to move, and you're basically chaining trainers and trying to move around this route as fast as you possibly can, right? So I'm going to bait this order, I'm going to Aqua Jet her first, just to get her low. She's going to double it, which is always good. And I should be able to just put up an Earthquake and make my way. So I'm walking away from the trainer as fast as I possibly can, whilst also still being in a battle. One thing I forgot to mention is that battles will end if you travel too far away from the opposing trainer, so don't go too far so that they sort of like leave your screen. Do it within reason. Obviously, the more that you do it, the more that you'll understand what this range is, and even I sometimes do it during my battles, but it's an important one. Let me do one more, just to see if there's another one around here. So there's sometimes one that spawns up here. You get down here. Now there's two options. You can see there's one to my left, right here, and there's one that normally spawns there. Now you can honestly figure out the best route for you. For me, I would normally go this way, lock onto the trainer, Aqua Jet it, start the fight, and then try to bring them around this way, and then fight the next trainer or get inside their line of sight. Or you can do this one first, and then fight the Simipour later on down the route. It just depends on what your preference is, really. So we'll just do the way I do it. So normally I Aqua Jet this trainer, and as we walk past it, we obviously know that Phalanx trainer is around this corner. They're not currently spawned in because we're in a battle. So what we'll do is we'll bait the Simipour trainer around this way. He's got a Barbaracle now. Earthquake probably one-shots this thing, so let's walk him over this way. I can hit Earthquake and I'll start walking. Obviously kills it. And now that it's dead, it's the second I walk around this corner, there's another trainer, the battle starts almost immediately. I have spent the minimum amount of time outside of battle, and that is the idea. So I'm going to kill this Phalanx. Now when it comes to the route, the Pangoro spawns. Okay, cool, we're going to walk this way. There's normally a trainer that spawns around here, so we've got quite a lot of liquidation or Earthquake. And we actually want to double back on ourselves. We don't even want to go this way, but there's usually a trainer that spawns here that you want to chain off of and then bring them underneath the scaffolding that you can see behind me. And as you can see, there's one there. I'm not going to find it. I'm just going to do the route for you guys. But essentially, the direction that you run at the end of the battle will be the direction that you face. So after you come up the battle, you can just go forward. Right? So if I end the battle like this, I then will spawn facing this way, and I can just run through the rest of the route. So we cleared this. Obviously, this is where that Simipour trainer was. I could fight that Simipour trainer right now if I wanted to, but I fought them beforehand. There's usually a trainer right here, so there might be a way, or maybe a better method where you sort of chain from the trainer that's like over there to one over here, then onto this one, and then you run through here and fight this trainer. It's either her or there's one on the left here, and you really do like begin to learn the spawns. You begin to learn what Pokemon have, which trainers have what Pokemon. It's really handy. Quite often the case, I will start the fight with these two here and pull them down here. There's normally one that's on the staircase. There can be one stuck in the grass here. I'm gonna try and get around this guy. Then there's a trainer that can spawn there. There's always one that spawns either here or there. And as you get later into the night, the spawns, I mean, I've gone so fast to the point where Pokemon are trainers just stop spawning, which is a little bit unfortunate. So you need a little bit of RNG. What you can do to help is just fly back to the battle zone. But there's one right there. Away from her. There's one that spawns right here. After you beat the two trainers that might spawn here.
Toss with it then.
Across here.
I need all that baggage playing.
Carving trainer. You want to drag them all the way across here. Then there's this Electros trainer right here. And one thing that's really important, I find that saves a lot of time. Let's start with this trainer real fast. It really is, and it feels like a speedrunning thing. It really does feel like it. So you can see that guy's on his last Pokemon. Now what I want to do is I want to get the last hit on this with this Feraligatr on this camera as I jump off the roof. Because if I jumped off the roof right now, Rotom would come and save me. And there's a little bit of lag between when I can actually move. You know, obviously if the battle ends, the timer starts going again because the night is continuing to proceed. If I jump off the roof the same time that I kill Camerupt, there's no animation left then.
Took each other out. Oh my goodness.
And then I'll target, I'll Earthquake, and I'll jump. I killed him as I fell off the edge of the roof.
No.
And I'm able to continue.
No.
And as you can see,
Yeah,
we are
yeah,
literally back at the
he's
very
gonna hit it.
beginning, and this is just one big, massive set. A couple of things you need to worry about. So normally, okay, so this trainer fortunately spawned in immediately for me right now. Quite often the case will be is that I'll run on to go and do the rest of what I need to do, and that trainer won't spawn in. So I will have to fight this trainer first, turn around, and then that trainer will spawn back in. But that's just the premise of it. You're doing a big circle around this ZA Royale, and you're doing your absolute best to be in a battle at every single point of doing it. I can throw out some clips from my streams. I did a run yesterday. I think I got to like 77 wins or 75 wins or something like that. And I spent maybe 45 minutes to 50 minutes doing it. Now, the reason I prefer doing this is because it's quite fun. It's quite fun min-maxing. It's quite fun getting a high score and seeing like what like you can beat it next time or what Pokemon might be better. And obviously, me making this video and talking about it with you guys, realistically, the more people know about this strategy, the more optimized it becomes, which is another reason why I wanted to make this video. Like something I did, I think actually, when I did the Start and Pilot video about the money making thing, a lot of people came up with better ideas than what we had. Obviously, this is just like a base of it. And obviously, just because I'm doing it in this area, doesn't mean people won't find a better route to do. I like this one because it's the one that Gabe showed me. You can do a perfect loop around the area and start back from where you began and just do the same thing again. And like I said, if you get to 20 wins, you can fly straight to Quasartico, do the ticket, do the battle with the person
Goes the weed.
that you challenge until you get the battle with,
Yeah.
and then just fly straight back here and do it all over again. I did this, I think, last night when I wasn't on stream, and I got to like 70 wins yesterday, and managed to get 3 of my tickets done. I don't know if it shows me.
Nothing so loud. What the heck?
No.
You missed
I
it
have like
something.
24, 25 wins on Quasartico right now, and I want to grind because unfortunately there is titles. So if I select this title, you can go over to Infinite Trainer, and you need 40 wins, or 40 win streak or a 60 win streak.
It's only halfway through the season.
I know this is something really small. Most people aren't going to grind for this, but it can be handy for that because getting 60 of these is going to take a long time, right? So I think that this is a solid strat. It's actually a lot of fun to do once you sort of like get in the swing of things. Trying to maximize how many battles
Damn, just noticed.
you
Gyarados has to be getting no XP.
That's
Fuck.
actually it. I don't think I've missed anything.
He's already the lowest
I have,
level.
anyways. But essentially, the golden rules you need is a Pokemon with a quick move. I guess I could call it that priority move, Aqua Jet, Speed, Quick Attack. I don't know what Shadow Sneak. I don't even know if that one even is a priority move. But Aqua Jet and E-Speed I know do work. Then you need, it can be done essentially with any Pokemon. It doesn't really matter. I would probably, if you're using a weaker mon, it might be a bit more difficult for you, and you feel like you might be spending more time in the battles. Obviously, if you have a stronger Pokemon, it's going to take way less time to do. And that being said, if you do more of these and do more tickets, you'll get more candies and complete your Pokemon's over.
I know you can learn the poison. You can't learn poison yet,
Stay
bro.
in battle as much as you can. Try to bait the trainers that you're fighting along the way to the next battle so that the night is prolonged and you get more battles going. Like I said, I think like a night, if you do it this way, you'll spend 45 minutes to an hour and you'll get roughly 60. So again, like I said, like 90 battles, depending on how efficient you are, essentially. But if this helps you and you got some crazy numbers, let me know in the comment section below. Definitely tweet them at me. I really, really hope this helps you guys. But yeah, have fun with it, and I'll talk to you guys next time.
You got him though. Didn't knock on nigga out. Oh yeah, we survived. Pass me that. I'm tired. Damn.
Good morning, gamers. It's release season, which means we're pumping these
Ouch.
videos out. And today I'm going to be going over how you can easily get, at the very beginning of the game, a full evolution team in Pokemon Legends ZA. I made this video for PLA just because the evolutions got a lot of like famedom right there, and then this year was the year of Eevee, or that was some of the promotion that was done in the Pokemon World Championship. I realize I'm wearing one of the shirts right now. I wanted to go over, you could do it in this game, it's just a lot more subtle. I already put out my video on how shiny Pokemon are caught in this game, and in that I go over how Pokemon spawn in the game. You can go ahead and get yourself a whole bunch of Eevees at one of the wild zones very late in the game, and they're there very readily.
You see how we
doing a shiny hunt for Eevees,
popped up on
recommend waiting for
out the
that
bushes down.
mid-game point that
Gee.
wild area with the Eevee opens up. But if you just want some Eevees and an evolution team, which I think would be kind of fun, you can do that pretty easily. From this Pokemon Center on Vernal Ave, or Vernal, I don't know how you would say it in French. You're going to see this hairdresser, my face is covering all the important information, this hair salon, and here in Vert Sector 9, we're going to make ourselves to this one in particular piece of grass right here. Now this is one of 7 or 8 different locations that Eevee can go ahead and pop up outside of the wild zone. Oh, hi Punch. So impressed by the rock smash.
Yeah, that's a long
Once
animation
we make
though.
our way to this little patch of grass over here, this is actually a pretty neat little area. So we have a
There's
magic
rock
item,
in that
and
ground,
then
right?
we have a ship that floats on top of this water. If it's raining, you can get a boomy here, and this boomy is coded to actually be an alpha, or can be an alpha. I just realized that Heracross does spins with me. I love it. And Eevee can spawn right here. Eevee does not have a very great catch rate, meaning it is kind of difficult to catch him at the beginning of the game. I have no colorful screws, and Ultra Ball has the same catch rate as a Pokemon. So we, no, not what I wanted to do. Okay, let's lose aggro real quick. You come to the Eevee step.
Yeah, that's what we needed, right, ladies and gentlemen? Hell yeah. And we still gonna keep grinding for these just XP and so that we can get some what's it called?
Accidentally attack it. Now that we have this hard save down, we're a little bit
XP.
safer, and we can think about how we want to go about catching it at the beginning of the
Okay, I
game.
think.
I
And
want
money,
to give a
money.
condition that will not do damage to it. And pretty much my only option is going to be this Mareep over here with Thunder Wave. Oh, you teleported and recovered all your health. That's cool. So if a Pokemon has the unconscious condition, it is one of its easiest points for it to be caught. But I do want to try to catch it before that point. You typically have 1, 2, sometimes 3 opportunities to catch a Pokemon. Oh god. So Great Ball gives me a 2/4 chance. We did not catch it. Let's try again.
Yeah,
We did catch
alright.
it. Fantastic.
Let's go to that guy though. Let's go
If
just
I
really
didn't
that
catch
guy.
it, it probably would have done a non-catchable aggro. It has those little anime upset icons around it, and you cannot throw Pokeballs. I mean, you could throw Pokeballs, they just don't make contact. Ball guy picks it up, don't worry. And then your only option is to either wait 30 seconds for that condition to cool down, which if it's a rare Pokemon or a shiny, I highly recommend doing that. Or your other option is get to be on the unconscious condition, actually bring its health all the way down. And as long as no other Pokemon are targeting you, you can then put down another heart save. We actually went ahead and caught this Eevee, so now we need it to respawn. And in order to do that, we have to repopulate that slot. We either have to let some time pass by going to different places or seeing a bunch of Pokemon. It's not entirely clear what mechanic is used for when Pokemon respawn
Get out of here,
from
Meat.
the defeated condition. I'm just going to run through this wild area. Who knows, maybe I might get another shiny Magikarp. That'd be cool. I'm going to go ahead to another wild area. If I usually fly to 3 different wild areas and then go back, usually that works. So here we are at wild area 5, best bounce back. Then back to where that Eevee is located. Nope, no fox. That's fine. Let's go to another wild zone. I'm a big fan of these wild zones that you can just run through the middle to the other side. You spawn in everything that you possibly can, and then you're safe from, murder. Okay, cool. I got the magic card to respawn, and yes, the EV also respawned. Perfect. I kind of want to show off the knockout condition with saving. So, as long as you're not aggroed by anyone else, when a Pokemon is currently unconscious, you can put down a save, and say, for example, you go to catch it, and oh no, I didn't do it in time. Just go ahead, turn the game off, and turn it back on. Respawn back in, and I'm just going to use a Great Ball on it, because I don't want to waste the repeat ball quite yet. Turn the game off, turn it back on. Okay, reload it back in. Let's try the Great Ball once again. Nope, let's try it one more time. Okay, it's getting a little frustrating. I'm probably going to switch to the Ultra Ball next. Okay, still did not get it, but I have confidence in us. Great, we got it. First try. Maybe you don't want to run around 7 different places trying to get this one EV to respawn. There's actually a few other locations I want to show you. And one of them is going to be on top of this roof right here in the Magenta Sector 9. In order to get this one, you need to make your way up the scaffolding here in Magenta Sector 9.
You trying to get all the money.
Get it? Not getting all these colorful screws because I'm making the guide later. Once you climb the top of the scaffolding, boom, straight ahead of us, right on that rooftop, that place that I showed you that thumbnail. That's going to be where EV is. Perfect. Now with a Great Ball, we're at two arrows catchability. Nice, got it. I also know of another EV location right down here in the blue sector. Let me go unlock this Pokemon Center real quick. We want to make our way to this one in particular roof piece right here on Sector 7. And right here is the scaffolding that you need to make your way up. For some reason, your player can't cross this little bitty gap right here, so you need to roll your way over to this platform. Oh, I can even hear the EV calls as I'm getting higher up. Got it. Nice. And I'm going to go ahead just 10 review bells.
Yeah.
After pulling that third one out, I'm going to head back to the first one to see if that was just enough time and enough exploring.
I'm my fire type.
Respawn the first one. Oh, yep, I hear her far away.
I need these to inspire me.
You know what? I think I'm going to start using repeat
I
bells.
need you somebody.
Yeah, I am.
Oh shit. Asian. Further up. Oh shit. There we go, around. I forgot I gotta speak up for the freaking whatever though. I'm messing up, y'all. Messing up.
So if you're like me and it's the early game and you're
one more high trainer and one more fairy.
Go about getting yourself some of the evolution stones for free. You can get rid of Sludge via the same way that Mario did on the GameCube, or you can use a Psychic attack because I think it's technically
no.
And this right here, on this little pier, on the Saison Canal, there's a water stone. As far as a free fire stone, we have this scaffolding right here, which is right behind Hotel Z on this large plane of grass. We have this little T thing. Let's not shove our joystick all the way in the direction. Boom, firestone. Nice. As far as a leaf stone, right next to the Prism Tower here in Vert Sector 1, and this little bit right here is the Charizard Cafe. Gonna go ahead, smash some rocks with Rock Smash, head up the ladder, and then we just simply hop off of the roof right there, and boom, leaf stone. For reference, here we are on the map. Okay, and for a Thunderstone, we can actually make our way over here to the Magenta Sector 7. Here's Quasartico, so yeah, it's right next to it. There's going to be some things to clear out. By the way, wild waltz are chilling in here. And once we go ahead and make our way up to the
whatever I'm
just straight ahead of us, I'm going to show you where it is on the map. Right here in the corner.
Should be enough for whatever I want next.
If you need an ice stone and you're a little bit later in the game, you know that this is one of the wild zones. There's actually one that you can grab right here but if you have not activated this wild zone yet, this ice stone doesn't
Right.
spawn in for you. But don't worry, I know one
And
that
go
does.
for more
Absolutely
XP,
directly south
more
of where I
bread.
just showed you is going to be this bit of
More
scaffolding
bread.
right here on the map, just south of Blue Sector 7 on the South Boulevard. And this item right down here on that lower shelf that you just have to drop down to, we're just gonna, perfect, right here, ice stone, great. I think one of the nicest changes about the UI of this game is that you can just
How to train for ranked Pokemon ZA. Man.
Pokemon Legends CA did something really unexpected, and that's add a competitive ranked mode to this game with this all-new battle system. So today I'm here to talk to you guys and break down everything you need to know to train competitive Pokemon in Pokemon Legends CA and climb that ranked ladder. So make sure you're subbed for more Pokemon ZA stuff in the future, but let's get into it. So first off, this is different from the traditional competitive format. Standard competitive Pokemon found in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is a double battles format with the rotating formats of Pokemon Battle play. And obviously, Legends ZA doesn't have this battle system. So ZA competitive is a 1v1v1v1 or a 4-player free-for-all, meaning it is less structured and more chaotic, but there still is merit to knowing how to build your competitive Pokemon and knowing how to train your team properly. For example, I built this team and I haven't lost a single battle yet, and I'm just a couple ranks off of being able to be the top rank in ZA. Now, online teams have some rules to them in Pokemon Legends ZA. First and foremost, no two Pokemon can be the same on any given team. That means you can't have two Gyarados, two Pikachu, whatever the case may be. You can't have two of the same Pokemon. You also cannot have two of the same items. So say two Pokemon have a citrus berry, that's not allowed. You cannot do that in online play. And the ultimate goal is to knock out more Pokemon than anyone else, which leads to some really chaotic and fun and honestly a pretty laid back system that I really enjoy. So let's get into the basics. Let's start with just what you need to know to get in and start playing. First and foremost, let's talk about the type chart. You need to know your type matchups. You need to know what's super effective against stuff. You need to know what stuff can't hit certain Pokemon. For example, those types can't hit normal type Pokemon. And you need to know what you can resist to be able to swap effectively. But you'll learn this by simply playing the game. The more you play the game, the more you learn the type matchups. That's just how Pokemon works. However, there are type charts out there that you can look up that will help you throughout this process. The next thing we need to talk about are stats. So if I go into my boxes and I go to, let's just go to my beginning, I check summary. You go down to the summary, there are 6 stats you need to be aware of. And pretty much they're all the same as previous games with the exception of one. So obviously your XP increases the amount of health that your Pokemon has. Your attack stat is going to increase the amount of damage physical moves do. Defense is going to resist the damage from incoming physical moves. Special attack is going to raise your special moves damage. And then special defense obviously is going to resist the damage from oncoming special attacks. But speed is the variable that is different in this game compared to other Pokemon games. In traditional Pokemon games, speed determines a Pokemon's role in battle. However, in Pokemon Legends ZA, speed affects a Pokemon's move cooldowns in this game. So if I go to my moves and I hover them, I can actually see the cooldown time on them. The higher your speed is, the lower that cooldown is actually going to be. The other important thing you need to know is the different type of attacks that are available. For example, there are physical attacks as well as special attacks. So you can see by this icon here, Leaf Blade is a physical attack. And being that my Meganium has a higher attack stat,
So there's some obviously some super basic information.
If I have a Pokemon that has a higher special attack stat, this icon here indicates the special attacks. This would be a more beneficial attack. Then there are also additional moves that you can use like Light Screen, Reflect, or Thunder Wave, things of that nature that are going to apply effects to the battlefield, whether it be to your Pokemon or to other Pokemon. Those are indicated by this icon here. But now that we've covered the basics, we need to get into the nitty-gritty details of training Pokemon. We're going to start with EVs and IVs. So starting with IVs or individual values, these are stats a Pokemon is born or caught with. Now, in Pokemon Legends CA, there is no breeding mechanic, meaning IVs are just what the Pokemon has when you catch them. And until you beat the game, they cannot be checked. But upon rolling credits, as soon as you open your boxes, you'll see you'll have access to the judge function, allowing you to press the white stick key on the Pokemon stat page
This can be done right here on the summary page. All you do is press your right stick in, and you'll see the best, decent. All of those are your IVs. Best is the best. It's the perfect IV. And then there's no good, which is zero IV. Now, the thing to note in this game is there, in previous entries in the games that have the traditional battle system, the no good speed stat was actually beneficial, and no good attack or special attack could be beneficial in certain situations. But in regards to specifically speed in this game, there's no trick room or something that's going to change the speed stats of the other Pokemon around you. So having a no good speed stat does not have near as much value in this particular game that it did in other games with the more traditional system. So how I've been training my Pokemon personally, I just want them all to have best. Now IVs can actually be raised through the use of bottle caps. A standard bottle cap can be used to raise one IV to max, and a gold bottle cap will raise all the IVs to max. And this is called Hyper Train. And you can use bottle caps to Hyper Train over here at the Justice Dojo. If you talk to this person right here, you'll be able to actually level IV up to max with a bottle cap. However, you have to have a Pokemon at level 50 in order to Hyper Train them. Now, bottle caps can be acquired by completing some of Mabel's research tasks. You can get some bottle caps here at level 36. If you scroll down, there's some gold bottle caps that you get at level 48. So this is one way to acquire them, but the other way to acquire them is by participating in the Infinite ZA post-game. These are rewards for doing your challenge matches after doing your challenges. Moving on from IVs, though, we're going to talk about EVs, and these are effort values, or stats that can be trained onto a Pokemon through a variety of different ways. EVs can be increased by battling, giving Pokemon vitamins, or giving Pokemon feather. Now, what is important to know is that a Pokemon can have a total of 510 EVs in a game. With a max of 252 EVs in one individual stat, meaning that if you want to have a max EV stat, you would have 252 EVs there. But that is the max number of EVs that you can slot into that one stat. And when training, 4 EVs are equal to 1 stat boost. And these can be checked in the stat summary screen of a Pokemon by pushing down on the right stick. So much like if you were going to look at your IVs, you can go back into the summary tab here and then just shift it down, and you'll be able to see where your EVs are distributed. Now, obviously, this Pokemon's a little wonky. I did not actually reset it or do anything to train this Pokemon properly, but you can see there's some spikes toward the special attack, toward the attack, and toward the speed for this particular game. Now, my preferred way to EV train is by using vitamins. And vitamins will raise a Pokemon's stat EV that it corresponds to by 10 EVs. So it takes a total of 26 vitamins to raise any one stat to that max 252 EVs. And vitamins go as follows. HP up goes for HP, protein goes for attack, iron goes for defense, calcium goes for special attack, zinc goes for special defense, and Carvos goes for speed. And these can be bought just at a Pokemon Center. You don't have to go anywhere special to buy these. They are 5,000 Pokedollars. Now, feathers are a particular feature because they only provide 1 EV per feather. There's a health feather for HP. There's also feather adds more attack EVs. The resist feather adds more defense. The genius feather adds special attack. The clever feather adds special defense. And super feather adds more speed. Now, unlike vitamins, these can only be collected as overworld drops that you see lying on the ground. So you just kind of got to run around and look for those shinies that are all over the place. And once you see those, that's how you collect these. You'll also earn them as rewards for doing the online battle system. So these are a little bit more complicated to get your hands on than
Had to get the hydration station.
Now, I did also say earlier that you can also increase EVs by battling wild Pokemon. However, with the game being as new as it is, there's not many guides out right now.
Oh, there's more now. 15.
But on top of that, I find this to be kind of a
And neither one was karma.
Pokemon because wild Pokemon like to cluster
14.
and moves can KO
Cool.
Pokemon if they are close enough to one another, which means if two different
You
Pokemon
got 11? Yeah, you got all of 11, baby.
get an EV you didn't want,
They said 12 then.
far less desirable
They said 12 then.
was in previous games you could only battle one Pokemon at a time. However, it's worth noting that if you do want to train EVs this way, any
Look, I need to get rid of it.
your Leaf Blade is a physical attack. And being that my Meganium has a higher attack stat, special attack stat, this would be more beneficial. However, if I have a Pokemon that has a higher special attack stat, this icon here indicates special attacks.
I know we've been frozen and saw about guys. We were taking a walk in the wild zone when suddenly we got caught in the middle of a bunch of wild Pokemon fighting each other.
That nature that are going to apply effects to the battlefield, whether it's your Pokemon or to other Pokemon. Those are indicated by this.
Not even Ice Hill did the trick. The other option is use Super Hot Fire type. So please, no, wait, Super Hot Fire type move.
We're going to start with EVs and IVs. So starting with IVs or individual values, these are stats a Pokemon is born or caught with. Now, in Pokemon Legends CA, there is no breeding mechanic, meaning IVs are just what the Pokemon has when you catch them. And until you beat the game, they cannot be checked. Upon rolling credits,
Slide
as
work.
soon as you open your boxes, you'll see you
Side quest plus we doing what we need to do.
allow you to press the right stick in on the Pokemon stat page.
You know what I'm saying?
This can be done right here on the summary page. All you do is press your right stick in.
Hey, were you snacking on berries the whole time you were frozen?
All those are your IVs.
I guess that's fitting. No more is the numb Pokemon after all.
And then there's no good, which is a
Morph.
0 IV. Now,
Thank you so much for saving Numa, Turner. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Start whooping on all these niggas and catching them
No
and
good
shit.
speed stat was actually beneficial, and no good attack or special attack could be beneficial in certain situations. But in regards to specifically speed in this game, there's no trick room or something that's going to change the speed stats of the Pokemon around you. So having a no good speed stat does not have near as much value in this particular game that it did in other games with the more traditional system. So how I've been training my Pokemon personally, I just want them all to fast. Now, IVs can actually be raised through the use of bottle caps. A standard bottle cap can be used to raise one IV to max, and a gold bottle cap will raise all the IVs to max. And this is called Hyper Train. And you can use bottle caps to Hyper Train over here at the Justice Dojo. If you talk to this person right here, you'll be able to actually level the IV up to max with a bottle cap. However, you have to have a Pokemon at level 50 in order to Hyper Train it. Now, bottle caps can be acquired by completing some of Mabel's research tasks. You can get some bottle caps here at level 46. If you scroll down, there's some gold bottle caps that you get at level 48. So this is one way to acquire them, but the other way to acquire them is by participating in the Infinite TA Royale in the post game. These are rewards for doing the challenge matches that we're going to be moving on from IVs, though, we're going to talk about EVs, and these are effort values, or stats that can be trained onto a Pokemon through a variety of different ways. EVs can be increased by battling, giving Pokemon vitamins, or giving Pokemon a feather. Now, what is important to know is that a Pokemon can have a total of 510 EVs equipped, with a max of 252 EVs in one individual stat, meaning that if you want to have a max HP stat, you would have 252 EVs there, but that is the max number of EVs that you can slot into that one stat. And when training, 4 EVs are equal to 1 stat boost. And these can be checked in the stat summary screen of the Pokemon that you can down on that stick. So much like if you were going to look at your IVs, you can go back into the summary tab here and then just shift it down, and you'll be able to see where your EVs are distributed. Now, obviously, this Pokemon's a little wonky. I cannot actually reset it or train this Pokemon properly, but you can see there's some spikes toward the special attack, toward the attack, and toward the speed for this particular game. Now, my preferred way to EV train is by using vitamins. And vitamins will raise a Pokemon's stat EV that it corresponds to by 10 EVs. So it takes a total of 26 vitamins to raise any one stat to that max 252 EVs. And vitamins go as follows. HP up goes for speed, protein goes for attack, iron goes for defense, calcium goes for special attack, zinc goes for special defense, and all those goes for speed. And these can be bought just at a Pokemon Center. You don't have to go anywhere special to buy these, and they are 5,000 local dollars for vitamins. Now, feathers are the most particular because they only provide 1 EV per feather. There's a health feather for HP, the muscle feather adds more attack EVs, the resist feather adds more defense, the genius feather adds more special attack, clever feather adds more special defense, and swift feather adds more speed. Now, unlike vitamins, these can only be collected as overload drops. You can see mine on the ground, so we just kind of got to run around and look for those little shinies that are all over the place. And once you see those, that's how you collect these. You'll also earn them as rewards for doing the online battle system. So these are a little bit more complicated to get your hands on than using something like the vitamins. Now, I did also say earlier that you can also increase EVs by battling wild Pokemon. However, with the game being as new as it is, there's not many guides out right now showing which Pokemon give which EVs. But on top of that, I find this to be kind of a poor way to go about actually Pokemon, because wild Pokemon like to cluster up in this game, and moves can KO multiple Pokemon if they are close enough to one another, which means if 2 different Pokemon run up to you and you knock them both out, you can get an EV you didn't want, making this method far less desirable in this game than it was in previous games you could only battle one Pokemon at a time. However, it's worth noting that if you do want to EVs this way. Any Pokemon in your party will receive the EVs for completing a battle. So if I was trying to EV train my Ampharos here and I was knocking out a bunch of Pokemon, every other Pokemon that I have in my party would also gain those EVs. So if you're EV training, make sure that you have only the Pokemon you want to gain those EVs in your party. Now there's also some items that can make battling wild Pokemon to train EVs a little bit easier. So I'm over here.
Okay, I'm missing something.
Reflect, or Thunder Wave, things of that nature that are going to apply effects to the battlefield, whether it's to your Pokemon or to other Pokemon. Those are indicated by this icon here. But now that we've covered the basics, we need to get into the nitty-gritty details of training Pokemon. We're going to start with EVs and IVs. So starting with IVs or individual values, these are stats a Pokemon is born or caught with. Now, in Pokemon Legends CA, there is no breeding mechanic, meaning IVs are just what the Pokemon has when you catch them. And until you beat the game, they cannot be checked. But upon rolling credits, as soon as you open your boxes, you'll see you have access to the allowing you
Bless you.
to right stick in on the Pokemon stat page. And this can be done right here on the summary page. All you do, press your right stick in.
Bless you.
You'll see the best, decent, all those are your IVs. Best is the best. It's the perfect IV. And then there's no good, which is zero IV. Now, the thing to note in this game is there, in previous entries, in the games that have the traditional battle system, the no good speed stat was actually beneficial. No good attack or special attack could be beneficial in certain situations. But in regards to specifically speed in this game, there's no...
That's a blessing. Oh, God. I'm gonna need that.
So having
What?
no good speed does not have near as much value in this game that it did in other games within the system. So how I use my Pokemon personally, I just want them all. Now, IVs can actually be raised through the use of bottle caps. A standard bottle cap can be used to raise one IV to max, and a gold bottle cap will raise all the IVs to max. And this is called Hyper Train. You can use bottle caps to Hyper Train over here at the Justice Dojo. To this person right here, you'll be able to actually level one IV up to max with a bottle cap. However, you have to have a Pokemon at level 50 for it to be Hyper Train. Now, bottle caps can be acquired by just meeting someone Cable's research tabs, so you get some bottle caps here at level 36, and you scroll down, there's some gold bottle caps, so you get at level 48. So this is one way to acquire them, but the other way to acquire them is by participating in the CA Royale post-game. These are rewards that you can matches after the challenge. Moving on from IVs, though, we're going to talk about EVs, and these are effort values. Stats that can be trained onto a Pokemon through a variety of different ways. EVs can be increased by battling, giving Pokemon vitamins, or giving...
Yeah, I'm about to say that sounds
Now,
blessed.
what is important to
I
know
need
is
that. Oh, God. I want my one. Yeah, we gotta go grocery shopping.
with a max of 252 EVs in one stat, meaning that if you wanted to have a
You gotta go
stat,
grocery
you have 252 EVs there, but that is the max number of EVs that you can slot into that one stat. And when training, 4 EVs are equal to 1 stat boost. And these can be checked in the stat summary screen of a Pokemon by pushing down on the right stick. So much like if you were going to look at your IVs, you can go back into the summary tab here and then just shift it down, and you'll be able to see where your EVs are distributed. Now, obviously, this Pokemon's a little wonky. I did not actually reset it or even need to train this Pokemon properly, but you can see there's some spikes toward the special attack, toward the attack, and toward the speed for this particular ability. Now, my preferred way to EV train is by using vitamins. And vitamins will raise a Pokemon's stat EV that it corresponds to by 10 EVs. So it takes a total of 26 vitamins to raise any one stat to that max 252 EVs. And vitamins go as follows. HP up goes for HP, protein goes for attack, iron goes for defense, calcium goes for special attack, zinc goes for special defense, and carbos goes for speed. And these can be bought just at a Pokemon Center. You don't have to go anywhere special to buy these, and they are 5,000 Pokedollars per vitamin. Now, feathers are for more particular EV training because they only provide 1 EV per feather. There's a health feather for HP, the muscle feather adds more attack EVs, the resist feather adds more defense, the genius feather adds more special attack, clever feather adds more special defense, and swift feather adds more speed. Now, unlike vitamins, these can only be collected as overworld drops that you see lying on the ground, so you just kind of got to run around and look for those little shinies that are all over the place. And once you see those, that's how you collect these. You'll also earn them as rewards for doing the online battle system. So So these are a little bit more complicated to get your hands on than using something like the Vibrands. Now, I did also say earlier that you can also increase EVs by battling wild Pokemon. However, with the game being as new as it is, there's not many guides out right now showing which Pokemon give which EVs. But on top of that, I find this to be kind of a poor way to go about actually EV training Pokemon, because wild Pokemon like to cluster up in this game, and moves can KO multiple Pokemon if they're close to the same area, which means if two different Pokemon run up to you and you knock them both out, you can get an EV you didn't want, making this method far less desirable in this game than it was in previous games where you could only battle one Pokemon at a time. However, it's worth noting that if you do want to train EVs this way, any Pokemon in your party will receive the EVs for completing a battle. So if I was trying to EV train my Ampharos here and I was knocking out a bunch of Pokemon, every other Pokemon that I have in my party would also gain those EVs. So if you're EV training, make sure that you have only the Pokemon you want to gain those EVs in your party. Now there's also some items that can make battling wild Pokemon to train EVs a little bit easier. So I'm over here at the Quizartico Inc. headquarters where you buy the Mega Stones. And there are some items here that you can purchase that will make this process easier. And these are the power items. And these, if a Pokemon holds them while they are training to get EVs, they will gain 8 additional EVs for whatever they are currently working towards. So the Power Ring is for HP, the Power Bracer is for attack, Power Belt is for defense, the Power Lens is for special attack, the Power Band is for special defense, and then the Power Anklet is for speed. Now with the idea that you can earn EVs by battling wild Pokemon, that means that any Pokemon that
I'm trying to get these like, you know, levels and shit to
was gaining EVs by doing
I didn't know that I could look at these little, you know, little shit.
changed in order to use them more effectively.
I need a survey while I'm 13.
Don't fear, there is a way to
Make a link trade, be a link trade.
Now you can use berries, but honestly I
I'm
think
trying to do it now.
sucks in this game personally. Like you see here with the Kelty berry, this will lower the attack stat of a Pokemon, and every berry that corresponds to a particular stat will lower the EVs by 10, which I thought to raise the EVs by 10, the berries lower them by 10. However, there's a much easier way to go about lowering the EVs in this game. So if you actually go over to the West Syndicate office, you can lower EVs far easier than by using the berries, and you also don't have to buy or farm any of the berries, which is much nicer. If you just go inside here, as you can see, if I go over to my Meganium, like we saw earlier, this thing already has a bunch of stats on it because of leads from my playthrough. But if I walk over here, it'll say, do you need a fresh start? And you can clear away the base points by spending 5 Mega Shards. So let's do it here.
165 out of 500.
Select it, and we're going to lower it.
I have so many battles to go.
And that's going to clear away all the EVs off my Meganium.
So many battles to go. That's actually insane.
Check summary.
Damn.
Scroll down and I lower it, and you can see that stat distribution is now neutral. There's no spikes going any one direction. This Pokemon is back to its base value. Meaning I could go in and effectively EV train this Pokemon to use it in the effective way. However, it is worth mentioning that this portion right here only unlocks after you complete main mission 20 in the main story. So you do not have access to this until a little bit further in the game. Now the next thing you need to be aware